Welcome back, Stassa23 here, back again with some knife therapy, and today I'm going to go through my most carried knives of September. I have a split between, I think, like 5 smaller knives and then 5 medium to larger knives that I carried a lot this month. And these are knives that I carried more than once in a given period. First up, we have the WE Knives ROXI 3. I've been carrying this one because I like it and because I'm getting ready for the review. You can see some battle scars already. Getting ready for the review because this knife is dropping this month and I'm super excited. I might pick me up a second one because I love it. Very smooth action, very fidgety. You can spotty flick it on the hole or the fuller. You can thumb flick it and you can use that top part for the front flipping action. Just an excellent knife. This thing is super comfortable for my hands, perfect size for me, and I love that straight Wharncliffe blade. I can get so much pressure behind my cuts. And this right here, this forward choil right up in here, that is such a comfortable grip right there. So spoiler alert, I've been loving it. So that's the first one, my WE ROXI 3 prototype. Next up is one that y'all haven't seen on my channel at least yet, and it's a BENCHMADE, and it's BENCHMADE 945. I held out on this one. I passed on it at Smoky Mountain Knife Works when I went up there this past year, and I was waiting on an exclusive one or something with a different blade steel. The blade steel is fine. It's in S30V. I just figured I know I'll probably want to buy one in like M4 or something. But I've been using it, enjoying it. Have some mixed feelings about this. If y'all want to see a full review of this knife, let me know. There's so many reviews out there. It's just hard to do a review on something like this because most people just don't watch it and it doesn't get a lot of attention. So BENCHMADE 945 blacked out with the blue pop of color on it. All right, next up is one coming from PROTECH. It's a PROTECH SBR automatic, side opening automatic. I absolutely love this little knife. This one is in S35VN, USA made, just like that BENCHMADE I just showed y'all. Two-tone blade with that stone wash and the satin flats. Very comfortable grip for me. It's like a 3.5 finger grip because my pinky sits in this little area. Super comfortable, and I just love this action. I love that I can easily close it one-handed and just, ooh, this thing comes out with authority. It has recoil to it. That is the PROTECH SBR Lesser George collaboration. Oh, I don't know if I said it. The ROXI 3 is a design collaboration with Tide Knife and Tool. There you go, my buddy Zelric. He used to do a bunch of YouTube videos. He hasn't done a whole lot here lately, but awesome guy and a good friend. All right, next up is coming from Tactile Turn. It is a Tactile Turn ROCKWALL. I'm preparing for this review as well. There's some things I love about the knife, some things I don't like about the knife. So y'all just have to wait and see if y'all are interested. Nice stone wash blade. Good jimping up here, good sharpening choil. I love that milling right there. That right there is awesome. And I've been really enjoying full titanium aligner locks like this because I don't have to worry about, my finger being on the lock bar when I flip it or squeezing it and, crushing that lock in some. Just works really well. So y'all stay tuned if y'all want to see more on this Tactile Turn ROCKWALL. This is in CTS X HP steel. Next up is another new one for the channel. I don't know if y'all seen this one yet or not. And this is the KUBEY Knives BARRACUDA. This is a design collaboration with Parson Blade Works. That's his maker mark right there. It's in S30V steel. Not sure why they chose that steel. Maybe it was cheap, being that it's not the new kid on the block anymore. One of my good buddies told me I should definitely check this knife out. He loved it, and I decided, why not? I love Wharncliffe blades, and boy, I'm just gonna tell you right now, I'm so glad I bought this knife. I have been loving this knife. I'm not even I don't really love front flippers, but it works. It works just fine. I think it's the size. It's like a 7¼ inch overall knife, and it just fits my hand so well. Comfortable, slicey with that full flat grind, and that warning. The way that warning sits in the hand, the way it kind of like points it down, so I can get so much pressure behind the cut. And once again, another full titanium liner lock. You have these anodized blue titanium hardware clip pivot with the whatever you call it, the pivot collar, and then that sexy backspacer. I love the fact that they hid that lanyard hole back there. Just a lot to love with this knife. It's not a super expensive knife, and as long as it does well doing my real world testing, I think this thing's going to get a positive review. All right, next up, I bought this design once from KIZER, and they had another version of it, so I said, why not? And it is a KIZER Critical Mini, Matt Christensen design. I love this knife. It's in one of my favorite steels, CPM 3V. Excellent stuff. This thing's super smooth. I love the profile without that flipper tab. I thought about cutting the flipper tab off my other one. My other one is a satin blade with MICARTA scales and obviously a flipper. So I added a thumb stud to my other one, and I think I like this overall aesthetic, that gray and green. I think it looks nice with that black blade. This thing, like I said, is very, very smooth, but the detent on mine was so strong when I got it. I had to take it apart and do a little work on it because that detent ball is getting stuck. It's getting stuck in there. It's gotten a lot better since I've gotten it. But what I had to do is I took a corner of my Spyderco Sharp Maker Stone and kind of like spun it around there to put a little chamfer around the hole, a little bevel. And that way it can free itself a little bit easier, because it looked like inside the hole, it almost looked like they had threaded the hole or something with a tap. But I think it was really just there was some chatter going on with the tooling, and it just left some rough spots in there. So hopefully they're not all like this. I know my flipper one, the detent was pretty strong on it, but you know, that's a flipper, so it didn't really matter. Hopefully this one will keep getting smoother. It was super uncomfortable. I couldn't even hardly flip it out whenever I first got it. So if you have one of these, let me know if yours was like, if your detent's really strong on it. I'm just curious. And also, I'd love to hear down below 3 knives that y'all carried the most last month, and which one is your favorite 2 out of the ones I'm showing y'all. Next up is the WE knife I don't know the name of, and that is the WE Allen ELISHEWITZ design collaboration. I think this is an absolutely beautiful knife. The action on it's excellent. CPM 20 CV. There's ELISHEWITZ logo. This is a prototype that I bought from BJ Hill of Hilltop Knives and Gear. I just like it because it's different looking. You know, there's some things already that I found that don't work so well for me, but none of them are deal breakers so far. One thing I did notice the other day when carrying it in my pocket, that sweat in my pocket caused some, I don't know if you can see the spotting right there. It's just some rust spotting in that fuller. So what I'm guessing happened is this is a blasted stonewash finish. And this is 20 CV, which is pretty corrosion resistant. It's a stainless steel, but whenever they milled this fuller out, it must not have been the finish must not have been really fine underneath there before they blasted it, leaving the pores open to the steel even more, causing it to be able to corrode a little bit easier. That's an easy fix. I can get that off with some flits and then put some EDCI on it and probably be good to go. All right, next up is coming from Vero Engineering, and it is the Vero Axon. This is, I guess you could call it the V2 because it has the upgrades on this one. I got this one not too long ago. It's got the coated blade, and the upgrades that were new, the tang sits up a little bit higher. I think he added something, because I can get to the lock bar on this one better. Maybe, yeah, there's maybe a deeper chamfer right here, because my satin one is harder for me to get my my finger in there to disengage that lock. And also the updated clip where you have that extra bend at the end, and you have more space to put for thicker material. Absolutely love this design. My 2 fingers right here fit perfect in that little deep choil right there, and then this thickness allows me to get a good grip on it, and I can really get some pressure behind the cuts. I was breaking down some boxes the other day, you can see, and I had to cut up a few clamshell packages, and this thing, God, I just love the blade shape on this. It just works so well, and in my opinion, it's very sexy, but you know, that's to the eye of the beholder. That is the Vero Engineering Axon. Next up is a new KIZER that I got sent to me by Mojave Outdoors, and it is the KIZER ROACH. I passed on this when they first came out. I wasn't really wanting, you know, the all titanium, because I knew that was going to be pretty hefty for this wide and thick of a knife. And the G10 ones just, you know, don't really do it for me that much. They just look kind of cheap in my opinion. And I'm so glad I got to check out this MICARTA one, because this grip, once again, this choke up grip, and the way that this cocks in right here and then dips down right here, follows the contours of my hand so well. And it's an excellent slicer. You got this high flat grind, and the action on this thing is phenomenal. Just look at that. KIZER has definitely strengthened up their detents. I mean, at least on all the KIZER knives that I've gotten here lately, I mean, they come out with authority, which I know most people love. I would rather dial back just a little bit, but that gives it some room to break in, so I'm not going to complain there. Just a overall very comfortable knife, and my review of this one and the splinter will be coming here soon, but this one has made it in my pocket a good bit. Last but certainly not least, is not new to the channel, but one of my probably top 5 favorite knives in my collection, and that is the CKO Custom Knife Factory Evolution 2.0. Absolutely love this knife. This knife checks just about all the boxes for me. It's very comfortable ergonomically. Once again, it has that nice choil area, that deep spot. And the way this blade kind of dips down right there, super comfortable. This blade is wafer thin at the edge, nice and thin, good slicer. Looks very attractive in my opinion. You may think it's ugly, that's fine. Love that carbon fiber. The weight on it's nice. Love that finish on that titanium. You got that gear spacer right there. And M390 steel, and this is one of the smoothest knives in my collection. The only knife that I know that, non-flipper that I know that is smoother than this one is my other Evolution with the hand rub satin, and that's why that one's so smooth, because it has a hand rub satin. But there you go. That is my top 10 of most carried knives of September. I would definitely love to hear what knives that you carried over, you know, your top 3 knives you carried in September, if you can remember them. I understand if you don't have a knife, if you don't have a knife YouTube channel, you might not remember. You might not try to remember that kind of stuff. But I do it because I know y'all enjoy these, or at least I think y'all do. And I would love to hear what y'all been carrying. Alright guys and girls, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I hope everybody has an absolute wonderful day. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.